Hiring managers, stop making these common interview mistakes. So we've managed to find you a great candidate and you're excited about meeting them, only for things to go horribly wrong at the interview. We always try to ensure that our candidates spend time preparing properly for an interview and follow the right advice on how to make a good first impression. You want to see the best version of them. However, it's equally important that you as a hiring manager also prepare accordingly. And in my experience, there are a number of common mistakes that can happen that many hiring managers make during the interview stage. And typically, these include a lack of any time spent on preparation, or perhaps allowing preconceived bias to creep into your decision making. And there are several simple things you can do that will improve the interview experience for both you and the candidate. A typical job interview will see some pressure and probing applied to the candidate to convince you, the interviewer, that they are right for the role. The hiring manager, or whoever is carrying out the interview, needs to be just as well prepared, because a bad interview experience could cost you and your company the best candidate if that candidate doesn't engage with you during the interview. We always want our candidates to be leaving an interview with our clients excited about the position, excited about the organisation, and we want them to have been successful in reaching the next stage. If you don't want them back, we probably haven't got it right. You need to make sure you ask the right questions. The questions you ask in the interview need to be structured in order to help you get to know as much as possible about the candidate, to assess their suitability for the role. You will want to cover relevant skills and experience, their motivations, and what are their key drivers. And also, of course, find out their actual strengths and what weaknesses, development areas they have. So you should always try to prepare and include open-ended questions to allow the candidate the opportunity to provide more insight, and you should also give them time to ask any questions they might have of you. There is, of course, a huge wealth of interview questions available online and through other resources that you can utilise and make specific for the role you are hiring. And you can then use them to create a more standard approach with different candidates. And in that way, you'll get a far better, truer comparison and be able to assess the key competencies that you need them to meet as required. You should also, of course, ensure that you're listening carefully to the candidate's responses, and you can then adjust the follow-up questions you're going to ask accordingly. If you're asking irrelevant questions, then it will look like you're either not interested or were just poorly prepared. So do take the time to plan your questions in advance. Lack of preparation. Many candidates will spend hours preparing for an important interview. So if a hiring manager turns up for an interview 5 minutes late without having even glanced at the CV, it's not going to look good. Without spending some time to prepare your interview format and properly reviewing the candidate's details before, neither party is going to get the most out of the interview. Allowing bias to creep in. Bias during the recruitment process can have a subconscious effect on hiring decisions with factors such as gender, age, and other stereotypes playing a part. Avoiding this bias will help you to hire the best candidate and will ensure that you are building a diverse team. So you should always look to try and involve your colleagues to help reduce the impact of any subconscious individual bias that you may have. And in fact, you can utilize tools that will strip away demographic information from the first stages of the recruitment process. And don't forget to smile. Negative body language during the interview will affect the likelihood of the candidate accepting an offer or indeed an invite to a further meeting. Much of the way we communicate is non-verbal. Using body language, do consider how you are sitting during the interview. For instance, try to avoid folding your arms, maintain good eye contact if possible. This can, of course, be difficult, especially in remote interviews. So always try and make the tone of your voice as engaging as possible and help make the candidate feel welcome and put them at ease. That way, you will be far more likely to see that candidate perform at their best, which is, of course, what you want. You want to be looking for reasons to bring a candidate back, not to reject them. So let us help. The interview process is, of course, the most important part of any recruitment campaign. So it's absolutely vital that you take the steps to deliver the best possible interview. We will be pleased to provide you with any advice and help we can give to help you structure your interviews in the best way to help you achieve a positive result for everybody involved.